Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I know I've actually made a second video. So people watched the first one. I'm more surprised than you are, trust me. So today I thought I would jump in just with maybe a wee bit more simpler video than the last one. And today I'm going to show you how I do my everyday makeup. Now, everyday makeup for me does change because I like to change up the products I'm using. I like to try different techniques, mainly so that I can build up my repertoire, I suppose you could say. And I like to test products before I put them in my pro kit to use on any clients. So my routine does change, the products I use do change. However, I'm going to show you today kind of the basics of what I usually do and the products that I use to achieve it. So yeah, if you want to see how I achieve my everyday nice glowy makeup, then please keep watching. Okay, so the first thing that I do, no matter what type of makeup that I'm doing, is cleanse, tone and moisturise my skin. The more you prep your skin before makeup, the nicer your makeup's going to look, the longer it's going to last, and the more benefits you're going to get from it. Plus your skin isn't going to freak out on you. I mean, it's really a win-win situation. There is no cons to prepping your skin. Okay, so once I have cleansed, toned and moisturised, I go in with my primers. So the first primer that I use is the Revolution Hydra Matte primer. So this primer is just really nice because it hydrates your skin, but because I have oily skin, it doesn't add too much slick, so it keeps your skin looking matte. So I just take a small amount in my hands, rub it between my fingers, and then apply all over my skin. Let's get your forehead. And it makes your skin feel like so nice and smooth, but it's not like greasy. It's really lovely. The second primer that I go in is my old faithful. This is the Revolution Pore Blur. So this is kind of like a dupe for the Benefit Professional because it has that kind of natural base tone to it. It smooths out your pores. And I have really quite big pores across my cheeks because I do have oilier skin, so I just love using this. So again, I just take a tiny bit of that between my fingers, and then with this one, I like to press it into the skin because it's a pore filling, pore smoothing product. If you like swipe it on, it's not going to be able to settle into the bits that you want to even out. So I just like to apply it in the centre of my face to try and fill in my pores. So the next thing that I go on to do is my brows, which may seem a bit kind of back to front, but there's a reason that I do this. So for my brows, I use soap. All you do is take a clear soap. This is like 69p in Superdrug, super affordable, and a wee tiny bit of water. I just put it in a wee spray bottle, and then you just spray your soap. I like to take a wee double-ended spoolie brush and run your spoolie around in it. And then once I've kind of loaded my spoolie brush up, what I like to do is just brush the hairs up. So the reason that I do this first is because if I put my foundation on first and then I immediately put soap over my brows, it's just going to take the foundation off because, you know, soap cleans. Once I've kind of brushed the soap all through, what I like to do is just flip it and just press my hairs down. So I just kind of tame them back into place. And this technique's just really great because it makes your brows look so nice and fluffy and full. So now that they are all done, it's time to go on with our base makeup. 98% of the time I will go in with this. This is the L'Oreal True Match Foundation. I don't know if you can see, it's got this lovely like golden sheen to it. It is one of the best foundations you can get from the drugstore because it just makes your skin look so healthy and glowy. So I just like to take a tiny wee bit and I just pop it on the back of my hand. I usually do 2 pumps. I would never do more than that, and then I just take my finger and I dot it about my face. And then I take a beauty blender. Well, this isn't a beauty blender. This is the Real Techniques sponge. I just prefer them. And I just bounce this into my skin. and just blend it all over. I usually put a wee bit more in the centre of my face and over my nose where I get red. So once that's all blended in and my skin looks a bit more even, I then go in with my concealer. This is the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer. I don't use too much concealer on a day-to-day basis. I just put a tiny amount under my eye and kind of here to give that more lifted effect. And again, I just take my sponge and blend it in. I don't like using too much concealer every day, because when people go in with a concealer that's either too light or they go in and they draw like the huge triangle, it just doesn't look natural. Not that I'm saying that this looks natural, but it's a lot natural rather than having two big triangles underneath your eyes. That's what I think, personally. Okay, so once I have blended my concealer in, I quickly go in and set just my under eyes for now. I use the Maybelline Matte and Poreless Fit Me, just the translucent one, on a Real Techniques. I think this is just a contour brush, but I use it to set my under eyes, just because it's the perfect like wee dome shape. And I just press it in very lightly. Okay, so once I have set my under eyes, I go back into my concealer and I just put a tiny wee dot on my hand, and I take this flat brush here and I just use this to carve out underneath my eyebrows, just for that extra wee bit of definition. So I just run it underneath and I just take my sponge again and just blend it out. I'm just going to go ahead and set my eyelids around my nose, my chin and the centre of my forehead, just where I get oiliest, using this kind of contour brush. Just to kind of set my cheeks, because I have oily skin, my foundation moves there. I just take a kind of fluffier brush, dip it in and just pat it away. So once I have powdered, I then like to go in with a wee tiny bit of setting spray, this one again, just to melt the powder down into my face. I just spray a wee bit, not too much, and then just let that dry. Okay, so once I have let that all sink in, I jump back to my brows, and I just like to fill them in just a wee tiny bit. I like to use the NYX Tame Frame Brow Pencil, and I use the shade, I think it's Espresso, yeah. So I just like to take it just on that line where that concealer is, and I just fade it in. Really light pencil strokes. Not doing a colouring in book. They're definitely not sisters today. Are they long lost cousins? Twice removed. Okay, so once you have finished your brows, I then go on to bronzer, blusher and highlight. So I'm using the same bronzer that I used in my last tutorial because it's my favourite, the MUA Sunset Tan, and I'm using a big fluffy brush. And I just stamp this on first and then blend it forward. I also take a tiny bit across my temple just to bring some warmth back into my face so I don't look like a wee ghosty. Take another tiny bit and put it over my nose, across the chin, and then with the tiniest amount, still on the same brush, I squeeze it and then just run it across my eyelid. Okay, so now that I have finished bronzing my face, I look a bit more lively, I then go in with my blush. This is MAC Lovecloud, as you can tell, very well loved. I just take this on a regular blush brush, not too dense, and I like to put it at the tops of my temples, and then I blend a tiny wee amount just underneath my eye. So I like to do this because I have quite chubby cheeks. So if I smile, like, and put it here, as soon as I stop smiling, my blush then hits right there, which is just going to drag your face down. So if you put it more at the top of your temples, you get this really lovely lifted look. And I also take a tiny wee bit across my temples, just to kind of blend everything in. And then I love putting some blush on your nose. That gives you this cute wee flushed look. Okay, so to finish off the cheeks, I finally go in with some highlight. Now, the highlight that I like to use is Jouer Citrine, which looks like this. Which it doesn't look like a lot in the pan, but oh my god, once it's on your cheeks, it's so beautiful. I just take this on a big fluffy brush. I think this is a Morphe M510. Yeah, Morphe M510, and I apply it right here, just at the tops of my cheekbones, kind of over where I've put that blush. Take the tiniest amount over my cheeks, and then I take it on a brush again and put a wee tiny bit on my temples, my cupid's bow, my chin, and then I just like to take it on a flat kind of packer brush. Just take this down the bridge of my nose, just a tiny bit, rub it in, and then the tiniest wee amount on the tip of my nose. And then I take that as well in the inner corners and underneath my brows. Just like. Okay, so now that is me finished with the powder part of my makeup routine. So I just take some more setting spray and give myself one final spritz, and I do a wee tiny bit more of it this time just to really lock it in place. And then I like to use a fan. Okay, so the next thing that I do is curl my eyelashes and apply mascara. I just like to press at the base and I pulse it. And then I move it up a wee bit and then curl just right at the ends. So once my eyelashes are all curled, I go ahead and apply mascara. So I use the Maybelline Colossal Big Shot Mascara. Wiggle and brush it through. Then I just go in with a second coat of mascara as well, and then I'll do my bottom lashes too. So once I've let that dry for a minute, I then go back in with my eyelash curlers and just give it one final wee curl. So from this point on, it's just lips to finish off. And again, I change this daily. But the one thing I do always go in with is a lip balm. One of the ones that I will go in with, and I will carry this around with me, is the Nivea, I don't know, is this like Peach Shine? Very nice. And this is just a coloured lip balm, super easy. Or the second one that I reach for most frequently is the Dr. PawPaw lip balm. I love these, super nourishing, and they just give that tiny wee bit of colour. So I'm just gonna put some lip balm on, and then I'll kind of run through some other options for lips that I usually do. First kind of option that I would do would be to put some of this on. I just take a tiny wee amount on my finger, put it on my lips. Now you could leave it at that, but personally I just like to put a gloss on top. This is just a Rimmel gloss, just a clear one, or you could put a nude one on top if you fancy. This is kind of option number one, super easy, super natural, takes like 2 seconds to do. So the second option that I probably would reach for would be kind of like a sheerer lipstick. This is a wee lip pencil from Gosh, which is just a nude pencil. There we are, just like that. So this is just like a lipstick, and just that you apply it the same, really. Again, very basic, very easy. Okay, so to kind of amp up a wee bit of colour, the next thing that I would do would be like use a lip stain. So for this, I actually use a liquid lipstick. This is the Jeffree Star liquid lipstick. And what's it in? Strawberry Crush. Just dot it on. Rub your lips together and just rub it in. It is just kind of that stained appearance, and then just to top it off, I'll put a tiny wee bit of gloss on it. Kind of the final, like, everyday lip look that I would do. So there you have it, that is my everyday makeup. Yeah, super simple. I just like focusing on making my skin look really nice and healthy, and making, yeah, that's pretty much all I look for, really. So yeah, as far as makeup routines go, everyday makeup routines, this is super simple. Most of the time I do this for work or for college, so this is just something that I know I can do quickly, and it's not too challenging for kind of everyday. So yeah, as always, I've linked everything that I used down below, as well as all of my social media platforms. And while you're down there, if you could make sure to hit the subscribe button and the wee bell button next to it to be notified whenever I upload a new video. I hope you have enjoyed. I'm sure there will be bloopers after this because I have made a lot of mistakes today. Remember to subscribe, and thank you everyone for the shares on my last video. That was really appreciated. I'm feeling all the love and support. It was lovely. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Sorry, I'm like, I don't know how to start this today. Welcome back. Welcome to... Oh, ready to sneeze. And ready to seize the day. Oh god. That matte primer is a hydrating matte primer. Imagine. Topsy-turvy, I suppose. Topsy-turvy. There's a cat. Where's the cat? Components broke, I forgot about that. I definitely feel like Beyonce with my hair going like that. Don't really. Well, no.